So when young Australians are thinking about their contribution to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people going forward, what they should think about is when you promise something, deliver. Don't talk about it, do something about it. This theme is actually being brave enough to bring about change. And we've all sat here and said that examples of traumatic events in people's lives never really been healed properly over time, and that's an important aspect of where we're going. My old auntie used to say to me, never ever go on the journey I went on, because we went on that journey. It's your job to take the story to a different place. And that's really what we're appealing to students about. Don't go on the same journey that your past ancestors and governments and politicians and school teachers went on. What you've got to do is bring about change and find a new direction. There's an old Aboriginal saying that says, when a non-Aboriginal person asks the Aboriginal elder, where's the path? And the elder said, there's no path. You have to make a new path. And that's really what you're talking about. You know, getting people to make that new path. And the work you're doing in schools, your painting, Frank's tours, are all about creating that new path. And Charles Perkins once said, can't live in the past, but the past lives with us. So they're all pretty imposing signposts for being brave and also bringing about change. Now, in terms of the reconciliation process, we've had a good conversation. We've talked around a number of topics. What would be your final advice to students who are watching?
I think being a champion of change.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, going on that allyship journey and making sure that you know what that means and continuing that journey. Also, it's really easy to do a cultural audit of your school, you know, have a look at, do you have the Aboriginal flag? Are you doing acknowledgements of country? What are you doing to support the Aboriginal community, the local community and your students? It's really easy to do a cultural audit and, you know, implement some really actionable change from there.
Definitely encourage every school to get a reconciliation action plan on how to engage and work with Aboriginal people side by side. It's the way to go. It's the way of the future.
I think it's just about starting the conversation, because I think that's where real change starts. Starting the conversation, see what you can do in your community, and kind of coming together as one to create change.
Well, that's an important conversation that we've had today, and I hope students have gained some insight from our guests. Reconciliation is an ongoing journey that reminds us that while generations of Australians have fought hard for meaningful changes like these that we've talked about today, future gains are likely to take just as much time and effort, if not more effort. What I'm encouraging you to do today is to not just listen, but be part of the conversation. Because listening can just mean that you're neutral, but if you're part of the conversation, you're engaged in supporting us.